called change of mind.
Change of mind, meaning the family could change their mind.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. But then we do the direct cremation. We do the cremation.
Yes.
And return everything. And you know, with here in our area, there's funeral homes that for direct cremation charge as high as $2,300, $2,300 plus, just you know. But our price is $995.
Rick,
because we're trying.
How can you do it at that low, at that price?
Well, it's like I said, I care. We're trying to take care of families. There's people that everyone can't afford stuff like that.
But of course, the same level of service. I mean, whether it's you or another funeral home in the area, and there's tremendous ones. There's one more than 100 years old, Goldfinch, out of Conway, and in Garden City and other areas. They've been around for a long, long time. The level of service that they're going to provide the families
is no different.
Is no different. Absolutely,
it's no difference.
Right. Will always be very strong. Whatever, McMillan Small, there's a Lee. So many tremendous funeral homes in the area. Everyone's got that same goal of providing great service to families.
Look around.
Yeah.
People, the key thing to do is people need to pre-need.
Okay.
Do you understand what pre-need is?
No, what is pre-need?
Before you need us, you come in and make arrangements with us. So that gives you a chance to do, just like you're going to buy a car.
Right.
That gives you a chance to shop around.
Okay. Okay. Good.
And that's where you'll see the difference in the price from $995 to $23.55. So at one funeral home to another, and there's all different prices in between.
And of course, now how do you know how the prices are set up for all the different funeral homes?
Because every funeral home has a general price list.
Okay.
And they have to furnish that to you. Now listen,
Why?
Federal Trade Commission says that if you walk into a funeral home, they have to give you a general price list at your request, if you ask for it.
Okay.
They have to give it to you for your retention, for you to keep, for you to walk out the door with.
Right.
So you walk out the door.
Why does the Federal Trade Commission care what my prices are, what funeral home A or B or C is priced at?
Well, because of all the problems that they had years ago.
Okay.
This has been years ago.
So the Federal Trade Commission.
Like I say, now you're getting back into where my age is again, ain't you?
Yeah,
You're getting back to old.
I'm sorry, Rick. Yeah. So there was a time that the funeral home pricing was so markedly different from area to area. They wanted to make sure.
Right. They wanted to make sure that everything was above board, that everybody had a price. You know, we had the state board came, and when they walk in, they look over our general price list.
Right. Right.
And they go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Line by line, the state regulator, sure.
Yeah. Mr. Ernest. And,
Ernest Adams, yes.
Yeah. And he goes through everything, to make absolute sure that we're legal and we do what we're supposed to do.
Good. That's tremendous, Rick. So a lot.
But now, the general price list, if someone comes by the funeral home, my funeral home today, and says, I want your general price list, even if it's one of my competitors.
Sure.
I hand it to them.
Absolutely, because you're required, not only because you're required by law, but because you'd happily give it to them. I think you said you've got it on the website.
Yeah. I told one of my, the guys that owns another funeral home in this area the other day, he asked me a question, and I said, if you ever have a question, I said, you have my cell phone number, don't you? Right. He said, yeah. And I said, just call me. And I said, I'll be more than happy to answer any question for you.
Of course. And it's important to have that open nature to provide prices.
That's right.
Whoever it is. Just because of a family searching for a price, they need to be able to find it. They don't need to necessarily have to come in. Just go to your website and print it right off of there.
Yeah. And the thing of it is I do have a good relationship with the other funeral directors in this area.
Good. That's great. And I think I saw you're very active in the South Carolina Funeral Directors Association and the National
Funeral Directors Association. And we are the first funeral home to join the South Carolina Cremation Association.
Is that right?
We're the first one.
Myrtle Beach Funeral Home and Crematory. That's tremendous, right?
Yeah, we're the first one.
What's the significance of an on-site crematory?
Then you don't have to carry someone in where the care is always, your loved one is always in our care.
Right.
they're right there with us.
Obviously,
at all
everyone
times.
offers
We don't
cremation.
have to take them to another funeral home
Mm-hmm.
to be cremated somewhere in another location.
Well, that's a great thing.
Because every funeral home in this area does not have a crematory.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a state-of-the-art crematory.
Sure.
We bought the very best that could be bought.
2008. That is tremendous, Rick. Well, I'm glad you all have made that commitment and really made a great commitment to a great location. And, of course, working with great people, you can always
The
do
thing of it is,
wonderful.
I just want people to come by and see us and look at us.
You want folks to come by.
Yeah, and just look at our facility
Mm-hmm.
and let me show them around and show them what we have.
Sure, sure.
So our building from the road doesn't look as big as the other funeral homes in the area, but when you get in it, you'll see that we are state of the art.
Yeah, just guide a viewer if they were coming by for the first time. They parked out front or parked on the side, right there next to the father's house, the church there, in right here on the bypass, right up the way. What are they going to see when they come in? Just give us a little tour if they're visiting for the first time. Walk them in the front door.
When you come in, you're going to see my office on the right, the secretary's office on the left.
Okay.
Then you're going to see our selection room on the right beside my
The
office.
selection room has what in there?
Selection room has caskets in it. We show 25 different caskets.
25 different caskets.
Yes.
Wow, Rick.
Yes, we show 25 different caskets. We have all different urns. We have all types of
Urns for the cremains.
Exactly. We have we show a selection of. We have our standard register book,
Right.
and we also have 9 different books that is the Thomas Kincaid selection.
Oh boy, that's tremendous.
That is, like his pictures,
Well,
that
a
he
lot
paints.
of folks just don't like to think about death or about the end of life, Rick. Are they going to feel comfortable if they come into Myrtle Beach Funeral Home?
I'll guarantee you. You know why?
Why is that?
I'm there.
Okay, listen to that, Rick. Yeah, that's a good way to feel. A good way to feel not only about yourself but about the presentation you provide. They're going to
Yep.
feel comfortable whether or not they want to talk about death or talk about experiencing death or not. You sure want to make it easy.
Well, the thing of it is, we are the beach funeral home, and people move to the beach.
Right.
Why does people move here? They move here for comfort. They moved here to enjoy the beach.
To relax, slow down a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Out of north or wherever, but we are the beach funeral home.
Right.
And we want people to feel comfortable when they come in our place.
That's great. Speaking of that, across from the selection room, you've got a nice, comfortable area there.
Yeah, we have a large area, and like I say, that families can come in and they can set up and they can eat, do whatever they need to do.
Right.
We want people to feel comfortable when they come in.
Yes. That's
We
very
have a
good.
large chapel.
Okay.
And we have an overflow room in case that we have more people,
Right
or we
across
have
from the chapel.
Yeah,
yes.
or we have small. We can have a small visitation
Right.
in
That
that
chapel it's a magnificent setup in there. The 100-seat chapel there. It really is, and a great overflow room. If
And our decorations are absolutely beautiful.
we've got I know you wanted earlier this morning to give a kudos to Ben Matthews up there, the interior decorator, who
Yeah,
really
and-
went above and beyond, and of course Myrtle Beach Lighting for helping to supply some of the furniture in there. But Ben Matthews from up in the Sand Hills in our viewing area up near Southern Pines and Pinehurst
His boss came by
recently.
and looked, and
Jamie Bowles.
Yeah.
Yes, Bowles Funeral
and he
Home.
couldn't believe what he had done.
What
he
Ben
said
had
he's
done.
went overboard here.
Good. Yes.
He said he's went overboard here. He said this is beautiful.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Yeah, Ben did a great job. I know he came down with his parents, and he and his parents worked hard to really knock it all out, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled to come back soon.
All of our furnishings are the Arnold Palmer collection inside. So we've tried to go first class for
families.
families.
That's wonderful. Speaking of the back area behind the chapel and that overflow room or the small visitation room, you've got another 2,000 plus square feet that were added onto the back of the building. What's back there?
There's a garage to hold our limousine and our hearse.
Okay.
We have a limousine to furnish for families if they want it.
Right. Good.
And then we have a viewing room. Now, what this viewing room is
what is that?
it's a room and we're the only funeral home in this area that has it, that if a family has to come and identify a body, they don't have to go in the room where the body is.
Into the prep room.
You know,
Okay. They don't have to go in
No.
there. Right.
we have a glass that's a window that we put the deceased
Right.
in front of the window, and they can stand out in a comfortable area
Right.
to view the body, to make, to see if it's their loved one.
Right. Right.
And we have a room for the beautician to come in to fix the hair, where they don't have to go into the embalming room area.
Mm-hmm.
But in the embalming room, we have state-of-the-art equipment so I don't break my back.
Right. Yes.
To lift people with,
Mm-hmm.
because some people are heavy, and we've had to
Yeah.
lift, and we have equipment to lift everything.
Right.
And we have a cooler that if we have someone that has to be shipped out of country,
Right. Right.
that has to be left for a few days till
Sure.
all the paperwork can be done.
And then next to that is the very nice carpeted crematory area. We've run out of time, Rick, I'm sorry to say, with the couch and the chairs in there. A great setup for families who do want to experience their loved one actually going into the crematory.
Well, I'm glad you've come by and looked at our place.
I like it. I visited a couple times there, and a lot of folks in the Myrtle Beach Herald have been over to visit, and I think a lot of folks will, as long as you're encouraging people to come in, that really makes a difference.
Yeah, I just want people to stop by and talk to us.
And what drives you, Rick?
What drives me? Caring people.
Caring for people. Well, that's a very great way to live. That's a great way to live your life, Rick. And we're
Go ahead and say tender heart.
yeah, tender heart. That's right. Don't break down again. You broke down at the Reflections, the assisted living facility out there in Carolina Forest when we were together, and when we were up there at Advanced Audiology that time with Coach Cliff Ellis and Dick Elliott and Tracy Edge. It was a emotional time. We're thrilled now that you finally got open. Congratulations, Rick. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
It's early.
It is early, 7 a.m., but you're on call all the time. Stay tuned to a little more of Rick Neal of Myrtle Beach Funeral Home and Crematory coming up next. His middle name should be Care. Should be Care, caring for others. You heard him say it. What drove him at age 17 to get into the business? Caring for others. What keeps him going later in life, 36 years later? Caring for others. Driving home that point, your loved one never leaves our care. It's real simple. It all ends with C. Care, right there. Making a difference every day. Rick Neal, Myrtle Beach Funeral Home and Crematory. Keep it going, Rick.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.